Da, da, dum dum. Dum 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 dum. This movie was dumb.
On that
Snark
note,
bait.
What is that?
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Greetings and salutations, my wonderful freaks. I am your Uncle Necro, and I welcome you all to the Tomb of the Terrible. It's the show in which I get to lovingly assault your senses with B-movie madness.
Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of Uncle Necro's Tomb of the Terrible, where I am the most horrible stand-in that I can imagine, because I will never be Uncle Necro, and it saddens me that we don't have him. But anyway, we have him because the chairs were taken, and I stole the only one. We have Del, and we have Rod. Hi, guys. How you doing?
I'm drinking from my Cullen Bun cup again. I saw Cullen the other day. It was great. On Free Comic Book Day. Got some horror shit signed by him. Yay. The car ride in traffic was better than this movie. But anyway.
Although I do have to say, this at the beginning of the show, they said this show is only intended for mature audiences, and unfortunately, none of us are really mature, so I guess we're going to have to end the show.
We aren't the audience. The audience are the people who watch us. We are just the hosts. We don't
It's
have
pretty
to be
sad that
mature at
Josh
all.
was thinking pretty much the same thing I was. This show is intended for mature audiences, so let's put the most immature people we can find in charge of the show.
And somehow y'all chose me, so I don't know what to think about that. How's the Ron?
The Ron is getting older, probably more bald, fat, lazy, broke. I think I'm losing brain cells by the day, so it shouldn't be too long before I'm back down to primordial ooze level.
One can dream.
This movie has an effect on people.
Yeah, it certainly didn't help, that's for sure.
I just want to say something that I learned that has nothing to do with this movie whatsoever, because we're going to do that thing where we avoid the movie again. I have got a huge forehead. Like,
so do I. It goes all the way to
ridiculous.
the back of my head.
Yeah, no, but I can see like your hairline, and yours would be like here, and I have like this, like I know this because I was playing with Photor and doing the like change hair, change face, like the AI shit. And like one of the things when I changed my hair, it was like back to here, which was more than usual, but it was like it showed my hair, and there was like I looked like the fucking Borg lady, the Borg queen, kind of going on. And I'm just like, oh fuck. fuck is wrong? Like, I already know I have a huge forehead, but do we really need to talk about it? Like, display it that well? It also, this is weird, and this is why we're saying that AI does not work. My pale ass, I put up one of, and it was one of my real pale pictures too, and it was like you can change the age on it, and so I like changed the age to teenager, and I was black, and I was like, how did that happen? Like,
I
it
knew there was something
completely
off about you.
like completely changed a number of times with a number of different pictures. It thinks that apparently, even though my skin is like albino, I apparently look more like a black person.
You
Than
gave
according
yourself
to
the Michael
Photors.
Jackson treatment.
I don't know. It was like I joke about it, and this is a terrible, terrible joke. Yes, I know, but like in Harry Potter, they started off with Lavender Brown's character was played by a black actress, and then they changed her to a white actress. And my horrible joke is that she drank too much pumpkin spice, and then had to become a white girl.
Bitch.
Yeah, became basically a white bitch. Because
Holy cow.
wow,
That's
yes.
wow.
I don't think that's not racist, is it? That's just like because pumpkin
Well,
spice.
it's too late now.
Well, I hope I don't mean it to be that way. I guess I'm just like
Running
I'm like
joke among most people.
it just okay. It just always like confused me as to why they did that, and then I was like, oh well, they drink pumpkin juice all the time, and pumpkin spice is like that basic white bitch thing. So it's horrible that they changed her character's race in the movie, but if they had to, there had to be some reason, and that's the only logic I could find behind it. But yeah.
Alrighty.
And also, if you age yourself at all, if you go to middle age, you are wrinkled. If you go to old age, you
look like me.
you're a granny apple face. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. That was me. I'm
Yeah,
done.
I don't get that either. Okay, two things. One, the show is going to turn back into a bi-weekly show where every other Monday we have Tomb of the Terrible. And the other thing, I am totally excited. My daughter and I, my oldest daughter Cassie and I, submitted our book to the publisher. And I am so proud because she has a whole bunch of art in that book, like through the years art, and it is amazing. And I'm so proud of that girl.
What book is this?
So yeah.
Awesome.
Art and Insanity.
Art
She
and
helped
Insanity.
get she picked the title. Yes, I burned myself and now it's peeling. And she made the cover. She picked the title. And I am just so happy to be in a book with that little girl because it's my poetry and her art. And yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway,
good job.
We should probably thank you.
Joshua's head it looks weird there. Like it doesn't look like his neck isn't connected to anything. So it's just like his head is attached to your arm,
No, it's like the third boob on that triple-breasted horror of Eroticon 6.
Okay.
I think we need some booze for that. Okay.
Very boob.
All right. Yeah. I don't know.
Sheep is judging you.
What was y'all's first impression of this movie? Starting with Ron.
My first impression of this movie. Well, since it's been like almost a year since we were supposed to do this movie the first time, I've only watched it the one time, and it's been a while, so I'm having like a hard time remembering it. I think my first impression was that it is nothing but trope. It is essentially just a movie to fall into a genre with nothing unique about it that really sets it apart from any other movie of its genre. It's high production value for sure. So it's something that would be shown on your streaming services, and it kind of reminds me of maybe like an asylum film where they churn out these movies because that particular topic is hot at the time, but there's really nothing about it that's different. And that's kind of one of the things I look for, when I'm watching these kinds of movies is, okay, why should I care about this movie over any other movie of its same ilk? Why would this one be any better? But unfortunately, it's not. It's just a movie, and that's about it.
It had a $5.6 million budget.
You'd think they would have done more with the shark then.
It grossed $1.8 million.
So they were $4 million in the hole.
Yeah, I like it. It puts the budget in euros and then the gross in dollars. So I had to look that up real quick to convert it. But
Okay. What was your first thoughts, Dylan Ratatosker?
well, I wasn't expecting much. It was a shark movie. Which is not to say I do not want to offend anyone like our dear Patsy, who is a shark aficionado and loves all things shark. There are really good shark movies out there. There
Yes,
are
there
some
are.
really bad shark movies out there as well. So
Yes, there
given that James had put this in the list and that he appreciates a good shark movie, I assumed it was probably going to be a pretty bad movie, and it was a movie. It had sharks and people and stuff, but it was never really a ooh kind of thing. I never got goosebumps or anything. I just kind of med all the way through it. And then I watched it again, and I also was like, oh look, oh, they have to swim. Guess what's gonna come up? The shark. So that was kind of my
Usually, even
overall.
so, when James puts a movie on the list for us to watch, there's a specific reason for it. And typically it's because it's so bad that it's redeemably good, or because it's just a really fucking good movie. And this was neither of those. It was so middle of the road. It just seems strange to me that this is one that James decided to put on the list.
And he might have put it up because the director had some real successes with other similar things, and then this one just bombed. We'll never know because we don't have the James input, but
Right.
yeah. So some of the movies, now that we're going through them on the list, guys, we have quite a few seasons worth of movies that James left us a list for. We're just putting them on in chunks, and yeah, this one I'm not sure why it's on the list, which doesn't mean that it doesn't belong on the list, but we aren't sure which aspect of this it was on the list for.
Well, it's Tomb of the Terrible, and this is definitely not one of the better movies, so I think it qualifies.
It's a bad movie that was made.
Dude, with the summer season starting, what season are we on? Because I forgot to do that. Because we just started the summer season.
Hold on, we're either on season 7 or 8. But what were your thoughts?
No.
While I look this up.
Here, let's start with his.
2 seconds.
No.
Okay. My expectations for this movie, I'll be honest, were pretty much rock bottom, for the simple fact, Sci-Fi Channel has ruined shark movies for me in general. There are a few rare gems that come out that are exceptions to that, but in general, shark movies make me twitch.
That's my job. I'm the epileptic. Come on.
But yeah, this movie did not help raise my expectations any during its playthrough at all.
I found it boring, and if they had made it more, the actors tried, and if they tried to make it more like sharks would actually hunt, it would have been so much more interesting. But yeah, I was like, wow. I think I'm going to learn how Instagram and Facebook works on my scheduler, because I finally got Instagram and Facebook to work on the scheduler together for Owlite. That was great.
Well,
So you were doing that while you were watching the movie?
Yeah, I was scheduling our page for the month.
I was playing Pokemon.
they only had one shark in this movie. If they had hunted like normal sharks do, then you would have to have a whole school of sharks. But they only had a $5.6 million budget, and those sharks were paid actors, so they could only afford one shark.
Well, the thing is, I was also ruined by Shark Week, and the thing is, my brain went, the moment the blood hit the water, about an hour later, they'd have a school of sharks, and then when the big bad monster shark showed up, then the other sharks would scatter, and then they'd just be left alone with the psychotic great white.
Or it'd be a feeding frenzy, which is what would typically happen.
Yeah.
It's my research shows that while they do sometimes hunt in pairs or slightly larger things, they don't necessarily school. And when they do, it's just for a temporary time, and then they back away. They aren't.
Well, a lot of times you'll have your first ones to show up will be your smaller sharks. And then when the bigger predators come into town, your smaller sharks will usually, I'm out.
Yeah.
From getting added to the chain.
But none of us are
And usually-
oceanographers or know anything about sharks, so we should probably move on.
My daughter wanted to be a marine biologist at one point, so does that count?
Sure, whatever.
Now that Futurama episode's popping through my head. Well, biologist.
Okay, so let's do this in a different, because since I've gotten bored with the usual just going around in circles, I'm gonna do the circle in an alternate direction. What did you like about the movie?
Really, it ended.
Alrighty, yeah, he just disappeared into the background. He's the talking tombstone.
There's not really much to say about what I liked about this movie because it just drug on so much.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's all I got.
Dell and Ratatosker, what did you like about the movie?
Okay. After the first two and a half minutes of the intro with the thing, and then 2 minutes of underwater scenes that didn't really do anything except for apparently try to set a mood. I did enjoy some of the scenes on the beach, like the fire jugglers and stuff. It was cool, like totally unnecessary. They did not need to put that much into look, we're partying at spring break. As we saw with the sand, they could have just been like, oh, waking up the next morning like, oh, we've been drinking all night for our last spring break. But they did have to set up like, well, they didn't have to, but they set up a whole thing where a girl runs into, while she's running up, it's her turn to pick up drinks from the bar. she runs into a homeless man who's begging for change, that's missing his legs, and tells her to be careful because a great white shark ate his legs. I don't speak that much Spanish, but I speak enough that I understood, well, between her, like, oh, this, and, you know, what he said that I did understand, like, be careful, you know, I was able to understand that. Just chomped him right off. So now we know there's a shark. But that was a huge time for expositional stuff. But I really think that they probably spent a fair amount of their budget on making the beach look really cool with all these
Yeah.
people partying and doing shit. And then, as with the sand, again, you wake up and there's like 5 people there at the end of the night. And it was like, okay,
Where did everybody go?
yeah, why are these the only people left? Like, you'd think there would be like families of beachcombers out there or something, you know, like it's time to bring the kids out or something. But plot device. So, that was my favorite part of the movie, was the stuff that didn't need to be included. But it looked really cool, and I appreciate a good fire juggler, and they had multiples of them around, and they really looked like they were having fun. I did question why they had shot glasses on the beach, because if you're out, they aren't going to give you, unless they're carrying their own around, which is weird for college kids to just, oh, look, we all have matching shot glasses, like not touristy ones, even like regular ones. Anywhere you go is going to give you those little plastic ones, you know. So if
Yeah,
they're,
they don't want glass on the beach because if it
yeah,
breaks, you step on it, you shred your foot, and then nobody's having a good day. So
yeah,
there's signs all over the place, and beaches in the U.S. that say no glass.
yeah. So
But
weird
again,
picky
this
thing.
isn't in the U.S. apparently. So
Yeah, weird picky thing, but glass bottle and glass shot glasses and all the glass beer bottles was kind of a weird thing for me. But I did enjoy the beach setup, and yeah, the scenery was great. That's what I liked.
I'm going to go with what she said for mine. Ron?
what did I like? I would say that there would be more that I dislike about the movie than there would be that I like about the movie. Like I said before, this movie basically follows a trope. It's very formulaic. This is essentially Friday the 13th in the water, but substitute Jason Voorhees for the titular shark, which in and of itself, you see maybe 5 minutes of the entire movie. It very rarely shows up. And when it does, it's usually like an extreme close-up. Most of the attacks happen off camera. So you don't really even get to see the shark actually eating the person. There's a couple of exceptions, of course, but all you really see is the aftermath gore, and admittedly, that's fairly well done. The gore from the shark bite is all right, but they could have done a lot more with the actual shark attack in and of itself. So you've got your Jason Voorhees shark, which shows up very not much in the movie, and the rest of it is just passing the time to fill out your runtime to get to your hour and a half, and maybe there's a little bit of filler with some background story dialogue between the characters, because we've got to have something to fill in the time when the shark is not attacking. But again, the whole movie happens because it's a product of the characters' stupidity that put themselves in this situation because they did stupid things and now they have to live and die with those consequences. So I'm desperately trying to find some redeeming qualities about this movie that I can say, what did I like about it? And I'm kind of drawing a blank. And I mean, yeah, it's beautifully shot because like I said, it's high quality production, good scenery, for being out in the ocean, I guess. But it's so formulaic and it's so much trope that what did they really spend the $5.6 million on?
Ooh,
There's not a lot of set dressing. You've got 2 wave runners and 1 extravagant beach scene, and that's about it.
I remembered one other scene that I thought was cool and slightly clever. When the man is being eaten by the shark and the girl's hair is stuck in his watch and they're like dragging him across and she's like, ah, they're like, let go of him. And she's just like, I'm not fucking holding on to him. I don't give a shit if he gets eaten as long as I get away, but my hair's stuck in his watch, because that was funny. That shark, man, he was clocking, he was fast. He was just zooming through the water, and there's like wake flowing around them. Like you could have jumped some waves on that shit as fast as he was going, but that was funny. So I like that part too. Sorry, I had to interrupt. Like,
that's fine. Okay.
It made me chuckle.
Comedy of errors. It's all a comedy of errors.
Ron, what did you dislike?
Well, other than what I've already covered, again with the formula, how in the Friday the 13th movies, there's usually a doomsayer at the beginning of the movie, like, doomed, you're all doomed. Like the weird old guy, I think his name was Ralph, that hung outside the market and told him not to go up there. Don't go up there, you'll be doomed. Well, that's essentially the old guy in the wheelchair with no legs, effectively saying the same thing. Watch out for the great white shark. Oh, well, let's go in the water anyway. He's just some crazy old man. It's just okay, whatever. And then shit happens. And because of their own stupidity, they break into the business that rents the wave runners and they steal the keys for the wave runners. And it's just like, there's no security cameras that would have them on camera that they're breaking into this place and stealing wave runners. Like, man, I get it. This is what, South America or whatever. What is it, like Costa Rica or something like that? One of the, tropical island countries. And maybe they don't get up early like the rest of the world, but a lot of people are out there in the morning that they would be like cleaning the beach up so that they could prepare for their business day. And they're out there on the water like, well, somebody's going to figure out that we're not around. Like, who? Nobody knows you from Adam. They don't give a shit about a couple of tourists. Ain't nobody even looking for you. Nobody's going to care. All they're going to find out is, hey, 2 of our wave runners are gone.
The only 2. They only had 2. That place stays afloat. $30 an hour. 2. That's why they can't have cameras, because they don't make any fucking money.
And they fuck one of them up. They completely destroy one of the wave runners because Idiot Boy was being stupid and tried to jump it and crashed it, and it tore and then sunk to the bottom of the ocean. So just kind of like a miniature version of the Titanic, we've got like 5 to 7 characters that are all kind of huddled on this one wave runner, and one of them's like hanging in the water like Jack. Luckily he's not freezing to death, but I mean, he basically is the shark bait because he's the one in the water. And the shark essentially just pulls him in half. But again, product of their own stupidity, because they made stupid choices, and the girl tried to tell them not to, and they're like, oh, well, you're just being a wuss, or blah blah, people don't like you or whatever, and it's just like when you have to wait 5, 10, 15 minutes worth of dialogue to get to any kind of action, then you start wondering, why am I watching this movie when there are so many other movies out there that did it better with better tension? You know, Jaws, of course, being the epic movie that it is. Even Jaws was one shark, and what they did with it, it's not even shown in like 3/4 of the movie, or you just see the dorsal fin and that's it. But they built up so much drama because of the music, which this movie didn't really have. You know, Open Water, I think, is another one that does it a little bit better. You know, those people are in Open Water, I think, does this just a little bit better than this movie does. But, you know, hey, you're an actor and you're looking for something, you know, to make some money, and you're getting paid for it. I guess you don't really care if it's good or bad. It's like, I'm still going to the bank. So, you know, it's on your IMDb. Maybe you're not proud of it after the fact, but you're still a working actor and you got paid for it. So who cares?
You.
Exactly.
I would
And
say
hopefully did not
Santa
end your
Jaws
career like
did it
Mealbog.
better. Mealbog.
Yeah, that was more fun.
Mealbogs! The mealbogs are coming.
Yeah, I think that if they had just cut out a lot of the dead space in between the shark attacks and maybe kind of condensed it a little bit, even if it meant upping the amount of shark attacks and lessening the amount of dialogue in between, you don't really need a lot of dialogue to drive this movie because it's all going to be based on survival and the things that they try to do to survive. None of them really have any idea about mechanics, but somehow they figure it out that there's a leak in the gas line, and they kind of jury rig a solution in order to get the wave runner started. Why didn't they do that to start with? Why did they wait so damn long after 5 of them had died to really start messing around with the engine? Like, you know, I don't know if I would have waited that long if my life was on the line. My ass would have been figuring out a solution a long time ago. But they're like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
at
it's
the
okay.
beginning.
We'll just stay out here overnight, freezing our asses off and, you know, the cold water and starving to death because there's nothing to eat. We can't drink the water because it's salt water and it's going to dehydrate us and blah, blah, blah. But why didn't they start figuring out their solutions, you know, figuring out what choices they had earlier on in the movie rather than just sitting there waiting for something to happen? You know,
Because
and
surely
again,
somebody's going to come rescue us.
yeah, products of their own stupidity. You know, these are the consequences you have to live and die with because you didn't take matters into your own hands. It's only when people started dying and, you know, your life was on the line that you start trying to figure something out, and you waited too long. So I don't know. Yeah. What can I say? You know, it's just.
Exactly.
It's not a great movie. It's watchable, but it could have been better.
Yeah.
So, what did you dislike about it? Invisible Man?
I dislike the fact that there was only one decent actor in the entire movie, and that was the Mexican guy with his legs bitten off. And
He's a method actor. He had his legs cut off just for that movie.
I know, right? And Ron, I'd like to thank you for the mental image of a great white shark with a hockey mask on.
Machete shark.
Yeah, right. Ooh, there's a movie right there. Well, let's do that one.
No,
Right?
Machete
have,
Shark.
have its the
That's
top
got a
half
style
of the
written
skull
all over it,
instead
man.
of the machete. Yeah. Voiced by Danny Trejo.
Right? That'd be good.
I'd watch it.
I love there's a thing where somebody was interviewing Danny Trejo, and you know how we have like our names here and then our little bylines like, well, this was a movie is my thing. They usually use those to like say what position you have, like your job or something. And it was Danny Trejo, and beneath it was Danny Trejo. Like, what do you do? I'm Danny
I'm
fucking
Danny
Trejo.
Yeah, right.
Damn right.
Wait, who was the guy that we interviewed for Killer Sofa? Maybe we should pitch this to him. I mean, he's in Australia, right? There you got water. They got sharks.
I don't think he's in Australia. Hold on. God, I know his name, but as soon as you ask it, I'm not going to remember it.
I drew a blank.
Yeah, it's easier to look it up.
But
Bernie
slightly
Rao.
back on
Okay,
Sorry. Okay, yeah.
let's pitch
Slightly
to
back
him.
on
Maybe
topic.
maybe he'll make Machete Shark.
I think he's
Yeah.
working on Killer Sofa too. But okay, what else did you not like, Mr. Hiding?
The fact that I'm sorry, nobody in their even not in their right mind is going to take two little bitty jet skis way the fuck out into open water. Even on a drunken what the fuck.
Well, that one I'll kind of disagree with, because if you're having fun and you're in the moment, you're probably not really paying like too much attention, like how far off you are from shore, because you're thinking everything is fine and that you'll be able to get back pretty easily. So it could happen.
I like the above water scene where you see the shelf drop off and then they go past that. Because that was something that was well to show how far out they were when it was like, okay, yeah, you guys are fucking stupid, like you're saying. You just
Well, the thing about that is, the farther out you go, when you lose sight of land, you become very disoriented because you have no way to gauge which direction you're supposed to go in to get back to it.
and maybe they were just trying to get far enough away that the people that they stole the jet skis from wouldn't see them.
That and the fact that none of these kids have worth a shit depth perception. Because at one point in the night, they see this light from this boat. It's like, oh, it's only about 25 yards away. No, bitch, that's a mile and a half.
Yeah.
That light is a mile and a half out.
Dude, the one guy just swam and swam and swam and swam. And they're like yelling at him, and he's like, just I'm fucking swimming.
Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Just keep.
I don't give a It's not like I can get back at this point. So the fuck do you want me to do? I'm just gonna keep swimming.
Josh is right about that, because the ocean can play tricks on your depth perception since it's completely clear out there and there's nothing obstructed. A light like that would show up from that far away, but you would have no idea how to gauge how far away it actually is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even with how the ocean plays tricks on you like that, with where they were at, there's no way they could have.
Nobody would have heard them for sure. When they started yelling, nobody would have heard them.
And anybody, even a special ed person, knows that light wasn't 25 yards close to them.
I was also confused with the light thing. They had seen the boat, it was a rather large boat, not like a yacht, but a fairly decent sized sailboat that was out there, and that totally didn't pay attention to them. But they thought they saw the light for the boat. But then when they actually finally get to the fucking light, it's like as big as my hand, and it's just sitting on a person. There is no boat. There's just a little light on a dude that's dead in a floaty. And it was like, how?
Well, if it's an emergency beacon, then yeah, I mean, because that's what they're meant for.
I'm dying because of myself, and yeah.
You have to keep in mind that those lights, they need to be visible from helicopters or search planes from up above.
True. I just the fact that they thought it was a boat, and she gets and like as she got close enough, she could have just been like, "It's not a boat." But I'm sorry. I need to. I'm drinking. I've slept more than I've been awake this week.
You didn't like?
I want to let Joshua finish because I'm being a dick. And like,
I'm good.
Suffice to say that none of us really cared all that much for it. Let's just leave it at that.
No.
Okay, so there was the fucking. Oh, I slept with your boyfriend. I'm really sorry.
Well, that's what I'm talking
he said
about.
that we were on
What's
the
the dialogue?
outs. Okay. Okay, well, that happened on the sand as well, and they handled it much better.
Yeah.
That was just like, and that was not a good movie, but it was handled a lot better than this movie was.
Yeah.
It was a better than horrible movie. Yeah, so that happened, and like, who gives a shit about relationships when you're out on a fucking jet ski?
Yeah,
with
it's
sharks?
like,
And
guys,
why
can
did
we
the shark
table this topic for another time when we're actually back on land and away from the shark and are about to die? You know, it's like, why do you want to take care of this now? You know, it's like you can certainly talk about it at a later time when you're out of danger.
Yeah, and the shark is harassing it. It's obviously it isn't hungry. At one point I think he even says it's just pissed. You know, like, because they're like, why does it keep coming back? It should be full by now because it's eaten so and so. And it's like, it's not even eating them. It's just killing them and letting them float. Like one guy I think it ate, but they come across numerous like just horrific. You know, like the guy in the floaty with the light bulb on him. Shark didn't eat him. It just mauled him and let him die. And it's like ramming the boat and shit. And like I said, super speed shark. But they've decided that the shark is just pissed and trying to kill them. So where does it go? So that they can have this inane dialogue before it comes back and just kills off another one. I mean, it's not like sharks are like serial killers who are like, oh, I'm going to let the suspense grow. This is going to get really cool if I go ahead and make them think that they're okay, but they're not. No, the shark's a fucking shark. They're dinosaurs still, people. They just have that brain that's like, oh, if they're going to kill, they're just going to keep killing and killing and killing. And they would just ram that fucking thing, chew them all to death if all they wanted was them dead. And it would be movie over, like 20 minutes in. Maybe 25. I can't remember how long it was before they actually crashed the jet skis and the shark showed up. But
well, if it's like me, it likes to take a nap after it eats.
But it wasn't eating most of them. It like ate one or two of like parts of them, but then it was just like going off and coming back to like attack, and it was super fast. And they're doing, and they have that survival shit with like, don't drink the water, you're gonna puke. Oh, well, he already just puked looking at the dead guys, so he's gonna die anyway. You guys are idiots. The people at the place for the jet skis aren't gonna come. Well, they might send somebody looking for where their stolen jet skis are. Maybe the airport will be looking for us. Do you know how many people probably miss their flights on spring break? They aren't going to send a search party down to the beach that you were at because they don't know.
They could care less. They couldn't give a shit.
Everybody else stuck their cell phones in their shoes before they hopped on. The one girl who has her cell phone has apparently the most amazing model in the world because she dropped it into the ocean and the one guy had to swim all the way down almost to the floor of the ocean to get her phone for her
And it still
so they
works.
could
It
use
wasn't
it.
waterlogged or nothing.
Yeah, so they could use it as a flashlight.
I need that fucking phone.
Yeah, no lie.
But there was so much to dislike about this movie. It it had every opportunity to redeem itself and to be cool, and it took none of them. And like even at the end, like the final girl, well, there were two girls. The slut dies first, so ta-da, final girl.
Course.
You know, it did follow that, but final girl was kind of a weird final girl, I think, you know? Like she just wasn't
Yeah.
letting things go. And then when it came back to bite her in the ass, she's like, I'm going to hold this against you for the rest of your life. Well, I'm going to prove that I love you by jumping off the back of this and delaying the shark enough that you can get to shore. And she's just like, no, I'm going to sit here and watch you die and give up every single second that you've donated from your life for me. And then rush because I'm getting bumped by a shark that can apparently swim like 60 miles an hour and crash onto the shore and then just be like, oh, okay. Well, that was fun.
And she does make it back to shore, but we don't really see anything that happens after that because the movie ends. Does she go to the authorities, report all of her friends being eaten by sharks? Does she try to find anybody?
Yeah,
Is
well,
she traumatized? Does she need to go to the hospital? Does she go to therapy? Does she go to the airport, catch her flight back home? What does she do?
yeah,
It's just like,
she spends a
whatever.
couple of minutes just like laying on the beach and rubbing gravel on herself for some reason. Then
Nasir
it
going
shows,
to the airport with her arm gashed open. Yeah, I'd like to get on my plane, please.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's not on the same beach where they were. There's a lot of rocks and stuff, so they have obviously drifted like not just out but over as well, so she's got to get to her thing. But yeah, there's no real resolution, but thank God it isn't something where it was like trying to set it up for shark bait too, although I think that might have come out anyway. I saw
Good God.
I saw hints and teases that maybe it did. I'm hoping it did not, but
I don't know.
yeah, the whole thing, you're just like I said, the sand did it better. You're stranded in this very small area. At least I guess they had more space than the other one, but there was no character development whatsoever other than slut, token black guy, the goof off, and then the guy who has to resolve things with his final girl, and knock, 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 knock.
Yeah. Like I said, formulaic.
Yeah, very much so. You guys, what do you think?
I want to make a teaser for this movie, like the law firm commercials. If you have watched this movie Shark Bait, you may be entitled to compensation.
For your last time.
We've got $5.6 million budget, of which we only spent maybe $1 million of it. So we still got $4.6 million laying around that we're going to pay out to anybody that may have wasted their time watching this movie.
Oh yeah, I think we all get that. Oh boy,
Ron's
You
being a
already told
dick.
yours, right?
Yes.
Ron,
I'm
this
going
is not
to-
new. I'm a dick too. I just always call you're finally calling yourself on it. I'm always like, yeah, I'm just a dick.
I'm just. This was a movie that I watched. I got bored while watching it, and I decided to do other things. And yeah, it was one of those. Everything they said, I'm just going to agree with everything they said. So yeah, how about we do the break, and then we'll come back and do the usual because I'm.
Hit the magic button,
Sounds
lady.
good.
There it is.
Roll that beautiful Faye footage.
Oh,
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Well, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductibus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Dorking Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brick.
You can listen to Retro Reductibus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
There we go. On my end, it just ended. So,
I'm just jamming.
on the 23rd, we have a I forgot the name of the parties. We have the book party for these two books.
Release.
The release party. Thank you. We have the release party for Onward Adventures, Fantastic Tales, and Realistic Tales. Ron and I are in Fantastic Tales, and Pyle and Josh are in Realistic Dreams. So
Nice.
please come join us as we celebrate these two wonderful anthologies with so many amazing people in them. And yeah, Josh
Aren't you guys-
is being published for the first time. I am just so
Josh,
happy.
tell us about your
Congratulations.
story since it's your first one. I want to hear about it.
It's actually pictures. You know, the Behold the Bewildered Beast thing we've been doing?
Oh, yes.
We had went on a trek around the local park, oddly enough, named Martin Dye's Park. And he took a whole bunch of pictures. And you could see 5 of them in the book.
Okay.
Does Martin die dead or does Martin die clothes?
No, Martin dies at the end.
I think Martin Dies. I don't know about. I just know the park was named after a guy named Martin Dies.
Well,
Martin
but
died
that's what I meant. Is
Colville.
it DIES or is it DYES?
DIES.
So Martin dies there. Don't go there if your name is Martin. Bad
Right.
things
Yeah.
might happen.
It's,
Bad things.
Now you sound like Welcome to Night Vale.
I've
Don't
never
go there. If
listened to
your
that.
name
I
is
got
Martin,
to.
bad things will
I gotta-
happen. Bad things. You sound like Cecil Baldwin.
That's something that I'm like, oh, I should have gotten into that a decade ago, and I didn't. So I'm like,
It's
do I
still
really have
going
time to
on.
catch up? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, do I have time to catch up on it? Reading, I can catch up on. Anything that like is going to like a television show or movies or things like that that you have to spend this much time watching them. I can't break time enough to be able to do that.
Well, there's no time
Without
like the present. I love Welcome to Night Vale. I think it's very clever.
it sounds good.
It
I've
is
had it
definitely a
recommended
good
by a
thing.
lot of people. So I can't
Okay.
remember. Do we do our ratings and suggestions first, or do we do the other
We
people
do our
reviews
ratings.
first? Okay.
We do our reviews, and then we're gonna go into all those beautiful things, all those things that you have set up on
Okay.
your end. Because I'm like, hey, am I supposed to have this? And you're like, nah, I already got it. And I'm like, oh, thank God I have Adele. I appreciate you so much. There's a
This
poem
is Adele
about you
too.
in
I have Adele.
art and insanity. So yeah.
Aw. Did you know that I come with a warranty?
Manufacturer's warranty.
Yeah, it's not,
I'm
actually
just-
don't call it a
Good
warranty.
first
They
year,
call
though.
it a
The other 50 years,
else.
you know, you're kind of out of luck.
So yeah, if you do decide to read the book, it's under my crow. On that end, on
Sorry.
that thought, please tell us what. Yes, give us. If you tell other people to watch it and your rating, we're gonna go with how many jet skis.
Who's first?
You.
3 jet skis and fuck no.
Alrighty. How many jet skis?
No to the recommendations, and I give it 2 jet skis solely because the Hispanic man with no legs.
Ron,
I
how
liked
many
him.
jet skis would you recommend it?
I will give it just for comedic sake 1.5 jet skis, since one of them was destroyed and now lies at the bottom of the ocean. So 1.5 jet skis, which I suppose would be equivalent to maybe about 4 stars, because it's, like I said, it's a movie that you can watch, but there are certainly other movies that do it better than this one. Would I recommend it? No, because I would recommend the other movies that actually do it better than this one.
Alrighty. I'll give it 3 jet skis because they tried. I will also I'm gonna say this. I would have rather been watching Deep Blue Sea. It was a whole lot more fun. That would probably be my favorite shark movie.
Have not seen that.
Bad CGI shark, I think I would much prefer to watch it again over this one.
I
You know what?
enjoyed
I would
Santa
too.
Jaws.
Santa Jaws and bad
Well, I didn't-
CGI sharks are definitely
Rig
better.
wasn't bad.
I guess I
Rig wasn't.
didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it more.
Yeah. So, on that note, you said you had things and interesting reviews,
Yes.
especially a review by one of our favorite peoples.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to start off. James always tried to get at least 1 5-star review, and there was 1 5-star review that wasn't liked it over on Amazon. This is from Ozone. The title of the review is From a Shark Movie Expert. I took a chance buying this video, and there are so many bad shark movies out there. This is probably the best shark story I have ever seen. I equal it to Jaws, the original. I bit off most of my fingernails and was on the edge of my seat constantly. The shark was extremely real looking, and the acting was exceptional. I am a 66-year-old man and was scared throughout the movie. I am writing this review right after the movie ended, and my stomach is just now settling. This is a must-see for any shark movie fan.
I think he wrote it on the wrong movie. He might have been, he pulled up the wrong page to write the review.
Yeah.
I think you had a senior moment.
And now we're hopping over to IMDb, and we of course have from Sam Panico, aka BNS About Movies. His review, he gave it a 5 out of 10. The title of his review is Steal a Jet Ski, You Get Eaten by a Shark. Originally known as Jet Ski, this movie finds Nat, Holly Earl, and her boyfriend Tom, Jack Truman, on a vacation with their friends Tyler, Malachi Puller-Lachman, Millie, Catherine Hannay, and Greg, Thomas Flynn. She's the only one of them that seems to have any sense of morals, so when they decide to steal some jet skis and head into open water, you'll cheer on the shark that finds them. They're dumb before the shark even gets there, racing the jet skis at one another and causing an accident with numerous injuries, stranding them all with no coast in sight. And then there's that dorsal fin, and the shark saves us all. Director James Nunn worked as the second unit director on 47 Meters Down and 47 Meters Down Uncaged, so he knows how to shoot a shark action scene, even one that's done with CGI. Writer Nick Saltries has experience with soap operas, so that gives some dramatic gravitas to the film, as Tom hasn't exactly been loyal to Nat. It's well shot, the gore isn't bad, and the movie flies by. What more can you ask from a free shark movie in 2022? Okay, fair enough, Sam. Fair enough.
I could ask for more action. Would that be too much to ask for?
Here is another 5 out of 10 review from IMDb. This is from Dugier. The title of this one is There is no scene in this film with a bikini babe in a red string bikini. If you could pull up the thing again real quick. I can't see it, but the thumbnail shows the character swimming away. Shark films have to have some decent TNA, otherwise there's not much point to them, as the genre really has been done to death. The last few I've stupidly sat through have been sadly lacking. At least the lead character in this ends up in her bra and panties for the latter third of the film, having slowly shed all her clothes for no apparent reason, and is a good-looking girl. But I can confirm that there is no scene in this film with a bikini babe in a red string bikini as in the promotional material.
Well, I mean, we've seen that with a couple of the Amityville things where they have the picture of the house with like the iconic windows, and then that doesn't appear at all in the movie.
Yes, and finally, this is my fun dramatic reading. Hold on just a second.
And we don't talk about Amityville.
Okay. Review of Sharkbait by, and this will tell you everything you need to know, Zardoz 13. Chomping to please on the sea. Sharkbait lives up to its alluring title. British producer and director James Nunn's aquatic opus qualifies as one of the best shark survival entries since Juan Colette Serra's The Shallows from 2016 with Blake Lively. Spellbinding great white shark attack movies that come to mind while I watch Sharkbait were Jaws 1975, The Reef from 2010, Bait 2012, 47 Meters Down from 2017, and 47 Meters Down Uncaged from 2019. Literally, these briny blue yarns depict humans as quarry for the most notorious of seafaring predators. An up-and-coming cast of newcomers, among them Holly Earl, Jack Truman, Catherine Hannay, Malachi Puller-Lachman, and Thomas Flynn, are the provender for sharkbait. This doomed quintet of drunken Kansas college seniors are celebrating their last spring break. This doomed quintet of drunken Kansas college seniors are celebrating their last spring break at a Mexican resort where they borrow 2 unattended jet skis and rampage off into the glittering blue sea for an exhilarating joyride. Since they didn't rent the jet skis, nobody knows anything about their shenanigans. This stunt backfires on them with a vengeance. Although technically thieves, they endanger themselves more than anybody else. Meantime, our attractive quintet aren't prepared for what lurks beneath the blue. It's almost as if the shark punishes them for their larceny. So absorbed are they in their antics that they never realize they've gone out too far. Moreover, they aggravate matters when they play an ill-advised game of chicken. They race their wet bikes headlong at each other until somebody chickens out and swerves to avoid a collision. The second time around, they aren't so lucky. Smashing into each other, they trash one jet ski, and a rider is injured. Not only is his leg broken, but he suffers a compound fracture. Predictably, blood clouds the water. All of this occurs during the first quarter hour of Nunn's white-knuckled 87-minute epic, and the tension rarely slackens until fade-out. Sharkbait carbon copies Spielberg's classic Jaws on a smaller but no less suspenseful scale. The film unfolds with an ominous underwater photography as tower block lenser Ben Muldren's camera prowls the ocean depths. At a noisy resort, our unruly protagonists share a bottle of tequila. After draining it, they put the bottle on the ground and spin it to see who'll buy the next. Our heroine, Natalie, Holly Earl of Queen of the Desert, loses and heads off to replace it. Along the way, she encounters a woebegone beggar. This old geezer, Manuel Cachi of Troy, has no legs below his scarred knees. Well, actually, he says scared knees, which is fair, and trundles around in a wheelchair, as if to foreshadow the fate which awaits our quintet. The beggar mutters to Natalie in his gravelly voice the words, "Grande Beron Blanco." Of course, he means a great white shark. Presumably, one lunched on his legs. Natalie's drunken cohorts come searching for her, and they resume their binge drinking. At dawn, the guys discover 2 jet skis moored at a dock. Breaking into a nearby hut, another guy seizes the jet ski keys. Natalie frowns in disapproval, but refuses to be left behind. Ultimately, nobody comes out of sharkbait unscathed once the great white intercepts them and gnaws down their numbers. Our protagonists pile atop the one remaining jet ski while the shark cruises in circles. When the shark strikes, the filmmakers do a seamless job of integrating actual great white shark footage with a look-alike mechanical behemoth that appears far more terrifying than the crude Jaws shark. Sadly, the kids cannot get the engine to crank, so they're stranded while the shark emboldens itself with each circuit. The kids spend an entire day and night before things take a turn for the worst. Predictably, prolonged sun exposure scorches everyone lobster red, and they suffer the effects of severe dehydration owing to a shortage of water. Ironically, none of the guys knows how to troubleshoot the jet ski's stalled engine. Shrewdly, producer and director James Nunn doesn't bite off more than he can chew with this voracious shark tale. Indeed, Nunn served as the second unit director on both 47 Meters movies, so he is acquainted with the genre's tropes and puts them to good use. Furthermore, he has helmed 2 crackerjack actioneers, One Shot in 2021 and Eliminators in 2016, featuring martial arts sensation Scott Adkins. Granted, Sharkbait is a low-budget, $5+ million thriller, but it takes advantage of its small cast and single setting to generate electrifying thrills and chills, apart from a scene involving a street cleaner, Maxine Duran of Carmen, who sweeps up after the kids on the dock. Sharkbait focuses primarily on the five. Again, Nunn takes his cues from Jaws. The final 45 minutes of Jaws transpired with the Orca, where 3 shark hunters clashed with the great white that rammed and sank their boat. Something similar happens to these spring breakers. Nunn uses high-angle aerial drone photography to emphasize the isolation as the tide takes the kids out to sea. The deep water shark attack scenes with the Leviathan cradling his victims in his massive jaws as he takes his plunder into the depths looks eerie as all get out. Altogether, Sharkbait emerges as a nerve-wracking account of spring breakers versus a sea monster that should keep you guessing.
The review is much better than the movie itself.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'm not entirely certain that I agree with some of it, but I mean, it was very well written.
They're like, I liked it better than Jaws. I was like, okay, I'm reading this one. Because it's 5 pages long. And I also like as a shark film expert, I would like to say, it's just like, oh my. Okay, so folks.
Spin the wheel.
Yeah. Since I have it ready to go, Jenny, would you be okay with opening and closing it after it does the thing so I can just push the button and just let me know when?
Yeah.
All right. Trail me up on the screen. Da, 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 da.
Okay, you're on the screen and I'm trying to talk the thing into going down to the thing. Okay, I'm at the music.
Screw it. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Spin the wheel.
Creature Cabin.
Creature Cabin.
Creature Cabin. All right.
Not familiar.
I am not familiar either.
To be or not to be?
That's what we're figuring out right now.
Gotta look. Well, and we could look ahead of time, but sometimes they change, guys. So that's why we do it live, because if we tell you it's there and then it's not, we feel silly.
Because there's a very good chance it was on there yesterday, but it was on the list to go away, and we didn't know that it went away today. But as of right now, as of this right now, it is on Tubi.
Apparently, it has a second name to it.
Oh, what is it also known as?
Go back, Ruby.
Tarnation?
Yeah.
Tarnation. Okay, so this is a Southern movie, I take it?
I'm picturing Foghorn Leghorn.
Boy, what tarnation are you doing?
I knew you'd do that.
Okay.
Hell, tarnation.
There we go. It is in the comments, and it'll be in the usual 2 spots momentarily.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because
in 2 weeks.
We need some time off for summer.
We need some time off to recuperate from Sharkbait.
Yes, that we do. I've watched it twice now, and it didn't get better.
No.
Well, we've had 6 weeks, I think, since we was originally supposed to do this, and it's just not long enough.
Yeah, it was bad. Besides the movie, it was just, we've had some poor timing here, folks. We have a lot of people doing a lot of things in the summer, and weather issues and internet issues and other things going on. So it's like either somebody isn't there, somebody's moving, or somebody's at a con, or somebody's doing other things, or their house is falling apart, or something else has happened. So forgive us, because we are human and we have needed to take some time off because everything is happening to everybody all at once.
But we are trying to get back on track.
Yes, we will eventually get back on track. The Owlite Network is not giving up on itself or on you. So, there.
Yes.
Our network, ourselves to watch these movies for your entertainment.
And we have so much talent, creative talent in other ways that we put out. Because seriously, these two people have some amazing. I'm not sure if I'm pointing it the right direction or which way is the right direction, but Dell and Ron have amazing stories out in different anthologies, and yes, I have posted them everywhere. And this guy has awesome pictures that are going to come out. His photography is actually being published, and yeah, and don't forget mine. And my kid is so brave, both of them. One in 2 anthologies, one in 1, and then she's like, "Mommy, I just want to put out all my art at once." I'm like, "We're doing that." So yeah.
And some of us are still working on other stories for the upcoming anthology.
Oh yeah. And then I am almost done with all the pad challenges, and I am posting them all in prompts for creativity if you guys want to do the same thing. And I'm putting that out as well soon. So yeah, we have more, and then our other network members have more. And we are not giving up on the do you see this guy behind me on the thing? Yeah, we're not giving up on his dream.
It's a tombstone.
No, I mean the person on the background of that we are all on.
Oh,
James.
Necro.
Oh,
So yeah.
Yes. We love Uncle James. UncleNecRo.
Yeah, we love him. So I guess where do you people want to be found? Delve.
Okay, so look for me at Carrie, Kari Sanders, Sanders, on Facebook or wherever else you look. If you see that crow, that is me. I am judging you. When I am not on the, I have links to my books and stuff and everything there. I am also, hey, Stefan. I am also over on Splash Pages every Tuesday night. This Tuesday, we are going to have John Suntress from Word Balloon, another comic book podcast, who is super awesome. We're going to talk about cons and podcasts, and we're doing some old school comics for that, Kingdom Come and such. We're going to be chatting with him, and that's going to be a great one. We also have coming up soon, here on Owlite, once we can get the actual dates booked. This is a matter of we're talking to people. Due to the current climate with publishing things, some people's books have been put off as to when they can get based on what countries they print things in. But we were going to have Thomas Snikowski as well as Janine Atkinson on for one of our episodes of The Clutch. We are also going to have an Owlite picture show with Robert Meyer Burnett coming up, and so just a lot of fun stuff. So find me there, stay in touch with us, keep on keeping on, and yeah, that's me. And Rattosker, feel free to send him any drinks you would like. If you need the address, just let me know. If you would like to send it, I'm trying to make him a custom bar. I think maybe a spice rack might work, but some of the bottles, I'm not sure about the width. But if anybody knows how to do something like that, get in touch with me because it would be fun. I would like to have a custom bar for Ratatosker to be able to just like sit back here and like go and pick out his drink from. I think it'd be a great time.
That would be awesome. Ron!
Ron!
Ron. Damn it, Ron. Damn it, Ron. As I mentioned before, I was on a moratorium for Facebook and was mostly staying off of it due to the current political climate. My moratorium is over. I am back on Facebook, but I am limiting myself to the amount of time that I actually spend on it. And mostly because I'm trying to get myself back to the martial arts and trying to start writing more so I can continue making updates on my author page where you can find me. But for the most part, Jenny has also been the number one Ron role player, cosplayer, by updating my author page on a fairly regular basis. So, and she's a godsend for doing that when I'm still trying to make myself get around to writing. I am working on a short story for our upcoming Mind of a Serial Killer anthology. I don't know when it's going to be out, but I am making progress on that, as well as making more progress on the novel, which I'm hoping to have out probably around October-ish. So maybe for it to be ready by Halloween is what I'm thinking. So you can find me on the author page, Ronald W Gillespie Jr. -author. And other than that, just get in touch with Friday, and she can pass any messages on to me if you actually really do need to contact me for anything, like, you know, movie rights, or you want me to appear in your movie or be on your TV show and talk about writing and all of that.
And he does do that. He's appeared on my show talking about writing, which was awesome. Because, yeah, I have full faith in him and his writing. And, yes, I will have a poem in that, too. And for those who do want to put anything in to be part of our anthology, it's going to be Killing Stroke. It'll come out the usual time that we have our anthologies come out. It's not a police procedural, but if you have a story about a killer that you would like to submit to at fakecorpublishing.com, at fakecorpublishing@gmail.com, we definitely want to see it. But otherwise, we are going to see how many amazing stories and poems and pictures we get. And Josh, where do you want people to find you?
Find her.
Yeah.
You will find me.
I'm usually the one posting on his Instagram and Facebook. So, yeah.
What was that you said, Del? I couldn't hear you. A little bit louder. What was that, Del? What was that? I couldn't hear you.
I said Ron's story's really good. Although I hear there's updates to it, so I need to read it again.
Yes.
But I read the rough draft, and I was like, you made 2 errors. Both of them had to do with quotation marks, which is easy to fuck up if you're reading. So.
They were fixed.
Yeah.
Dr.
Like,
Raz T Slasher made some comments which I really liked, which prompted me to add a little bit more to the story. And I think that he was correct on both of his counts for the suggestions that he made. The story is a little bit longer. It's going to be a little over 7,000 words at this point. But I think that because of his suggestions, it will make the story a little bit more concrete.
Nice.
Yeah, and Raz is always great at helping us make things better. So, yeah, if you're listening, we love you, Raz. Thank you for helping us make our stuff better. And, yeah, this Friday we have Bloody Binge Podcast, Big Bad Mama. And then on Thursday, it's Hardcore Heels. And they talk about, hold on one second, let me bring it up. The bus flip mania, or how to piss off the IWC. So yeah, Thursday, Hardcore Heels. Can't miss that if you are a wrestling fan. If you'd like to see our other movie review show that I love to frequent, please come and join us on that. And to make Fridays less loaded, because his show is usually, last time it ended right before I needed to be on. I'm moving my show around to work with those others. We're moving to Saturdays, and I'm gonna play around with things, and I'm getting better at figuring out the TikTok things. So in between my shows, I'm gonna try to put out more videos, reels and stuff of our older stuff, because we've had so many awesome authors. We've had so many great guests. And I'm trying to figure out the Substack thing. That is hard. So either way.
I need to jump in here because I'm dying. You said IWC, and I don't know what that means, but when I went to look it up, I typed in IWC, and it pulled up the IWCA, which is, okay, it's the International Window Cleaners Association. I know this because one of my exes was a window cleaner. And I just hit IWC and hit enter, and I have the IWCA. I would like to congratulate Corey Klimas as the 2024 Window Cleaner of the Year.
I imagine it's probably something like International Wrestling Championship or
Okay, well, Corey's
Independent
kind of
Wrestling
hot, so he could clean my windows anytime.
Oh
I
my.
mean, ooh, yeah, he's a
Internet
good
wrestling
guy.
community.
Oh, okay.
International
Well,
Wrestling Cartel. International Wrestling Cartel is, I think, the one that he's talking about. I don't know. I am so.
I just had to
After
blast
about
the window cleaners.
Now you need to put up a picture of Corey because I think we're all curious.
Oh, God damn it. Okay.
yeah, after about 2008, I got lost on wrestling. I'm so lost. I don't know what's going on.
I'll send it to you guys in the what is it to get? No. How do you pull up the last thing that you had? I forgot the.
Okay, you put present.
Okay, never mind. I got it.
And then, because if you're gonna put it on the screen, go from there.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Give me just a second. Yes, I'm doing this. He deserves it, man. He is the window cleaner of the year. All right. Let's go down to screenshot. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Getting it up here. Nothing to do with anything other than I'm getting tipsy and slap happy. But see, he's a good looking guy there. That is the 2024 Window Cleaner of the Year recipient, Corey Clemens. Congratulations, Corey.
Corey Clemens.
We are proud of you. Good job cleaning windows, and
it's such a good job.
I hope that you're getting paid really well for your work. So yeah, because it's dangerous out there, man. If you have to climb up the ladders and do high rises, which I'm assuming you don't win Window Cleaner of the Year for just washing like the first floor windows. So like, I hope you do something cool, like dress like a superhero, or have some sort of message on your shirts as you're walking around doing stuff. It'd be to make you super fun. Good job, Corey. Anyway,
come to find out, he's a window washer with no arms and no legs. He got window washer of the year because he can do it
with his mouth,
with his teeth. Yeah,
he's got a squeegee. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's totally inappropriate, and I'm done. I'm not gonna go there.
Yes, let's be done. Okay, people.
That's a wrap.
We're just
love y'all.
Oh boy.